I think some of you know the name of the billionaire, Sir Richard Branson. Sir Richard has a space plane that can take tourists up into the outer atmosphere, up into low Earth orbit. Pretty amazing. A lot of money, but pretty amazing. It's incapable of getting there on its own. It actually has to be carried by this double-hulled jet plane that he calls the mothership, Space One. It carries it high up into the atmosphere, and then it releases this space plane so that it can fly up into the heavens. It can't get to the heavens without the help of the mothership. It's the purpose of this double-hulled plane. Now, way back 2,000 years ago, when Jesus was speaking to the people of his time, he was speaking to people as well who were burdened and earthbound. They themselves couldn't make it up into heaven. They couldn't find their way into joy and happiness because they were weighed down and burdened by life. You see, for generations they had been occupied by Rome, and Rome was putting heavy taxes on them. Meanwhile, they had their own problems, problems with family and friends and work and the village. They had all these weights on their shoulders. And they had religious leaders who placed even heavier burdens on them, taking the Word of God and making it so restrictive that their hearts were breaking. They had heartache and heartbreak, and they just didn't know how to live their lives in joy. They would listen to this psalm, "I will praise your name forever, my King and my God." Steve, you proclaimed it so joyfully, but they heard it and said, "When? When will you come and relieve us of these burdens?" So what Jesus tells them is, I'm not here to relieve your burdens. You're going to have the burdens wherever you go. What he told them was, I'll help you carry them. I'll help you. He said, take my yoke upon your shoulders. Because like that mothership, like Space One, I can lift your burden along with you and carry you into the heavens. I'll shoulder some of the weight so that you can make it. Now, what was true then is true now. I doubt that there's anyone in here who doesn't have some burden on their heart, whether it's with your family or your friends or your work or your church, our parish. You carry burdens with you, financial, emotional, psychological, whatever. I mean, my gosh, this past year has been crazy for us as a nation. There's been so much conflict within our nation. And of course, with our world, we're finding this same kind of turmoil, and it weighs us down. And you know what most of us do? We try to ignore it. We put it inside of our hearts, and we say, no, you guys, I'm fine. No, I'm doing okay. No, really, I can do this. We think we can do it on our own. But the reason why we come here every week is not because we have our act together. It's because we need each other. We need to hear the good news. We need to receive the gift of the Eucharist. We need the ministry of Father Jerry and our other parish priests. We need people like Laura Doherty who reach out to us in times of crisis. We need to find places where we can grieve and rejoice, where we can bring our burdens and find in each other the gift of faith. To take the yoke of Christ on our shoulders and help each other carry the load. If you remember 2 weeks ago when I said that God has counted the hairs on our heads, that He has our back, I said that He does that through us. Of course, He does that in His Word and in the sacrament, in our parish staff, in our parish priests, in our St. Vincent de Paul, in our Stephen ministers. But He carries our load through the people sitting next to us, our parents, our kids. our friends, our colleagues, our fellow parishioners. We pick up the yoke of Christ, which doesn't burden us, it spreads the load. It allows us to carry our burdens in such a way that we can make it through another day and another week so that we can come back here once more and be renewed in spirit. As St. Paul says, let that Spirit of God reside within you, because when it does, it allows us to help each other out, to be Christ for one another. Because, my sisters and brothers, this is the mothership. This is the mothership, carrying us and our burdens to the edge of heaven. We are the mothership for each other. We yoke ourselves together so that we can carry the load. Remember what Jesus said. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon your shoulders and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. God bless, and go church.